Hi, welcome back. We're here with Kerry Jones. Kerry, you're interested, or you use images in the classroom.
Yeah,
That's one of your
that's right.
big interests.
That's one of the things that interests me at the moment a
All
lot.
right.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? How?
Okay. In whatever way your classroom allows.
All right.
At the moment, I'm working in two very different kinds of classrooms. I have one classroom where I've got my data projector and my interactive whiteboard and all of the digital bells and whistles, and then another classroom which is chalk and
Right.
blackboard, and that's it. And so it's a very different way of using images, but
Yeah, best of both worlds.
well, yeah, kind of,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah. Or at least bouncing back and forth between
Yeah.
the two worlds, yeah. Yeah, and so the challenge of being able to bring digital images into a non-digital classroom as well is something that I've been playing with, and whether it's on a mobile phone or you bring your own laptop into the classroom and everybody kind of hunkers around. So I try to work with images that it doesn't really matter that you can't see the detail.
Okay.
But the image is just a starting point. So, for example, a close-up, where you see a detail and it's not giving you the whole picture at all, and then we extrapolate from the detail. We create the bigger picture. Each student's going to have a different version of the bigger picture, and opening it out, and then from opening it out, then opening it out into a role play or into some written work, and then exploring the language that comes out of the students, really. And so that's one way, for example. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you work solely with digital images, or do you also use hard copies?
It's usually digital.
Okay.
Yeah. I do a lot of sharing with my students. I use students' images as well. I try and encourage students to, maybe I'll take in an image and then ask them to go away and bring in something similar, or, sort of whatever's kicked off in their imaginations. We use email a lot, just for them to send me their photos so that I can then upload them onto my computer or onto the interactive whiteboard, and very often that's a starting point for our lesson. It will be somebody else's image, someone's brought in from the outside world. That's another thing I think it's important with the images, is this bridge that it creates between the classroom and the outside world, and especially the students' world. It's their pictures. It's all pictures from their context, anyway.
Yeah, that's fabulous. So that's one way that you get images from the students. I think that's the best way.
Yeah.
It's personalized automatically like that. But we were talking before we went live, and you mentioned another way, a project or something.
Yes,
that someone
okay,
has
yeah.
started. Can you tell us about
Yeah,
that?
it's a great initiative. It's called IATEFL. It's a Flickr Twitter initiative. It started in the autumn of last year.
Flickr's what is Flickr?
Flickr, okay. Flickr is a photo sharing web tool, a site that you can either open your own account in, or in this case it's an account that's been opened by teachers who were active on Twitter at the time, and had started sharing photos amongst each other on a theme. It was kind of more just for their own pleasure, really.
Okay.
And then they decided it would be a great idea to just open it out, because more and more teachers on Twitter were interested in sharing photos, and they set up on Flickr, on this photo sharing website, some photo sets. So through Twitter we post images under a set theme. Every week there's a different theme, and the images come from all over the world, from all kinds of different contexts. So, for example, I think last week it was fashion and clothes.
Right.
So, sort of everybody just take a photo of yourself in the mirror, or your clothes in the wardrobe, and you getting clothes from all over the world. Another set, for example, was close-ups. Again, sort of one that I was particularly personally involved in was the close-ups one, and it's beautiful.
That's a fabulous resource.
It is.
I've spent so much time trawling the internet looking for pictures, and then there's the copyright issue.
Yes, it's Creative Commons. It's all Creative Commons.
So that means
it's all
there's no problem.
There's no problem at all for you as a teacher to use it in your classroom. I mean, obviously it's not for commercial use, but it's completely free of any copyright. You download it, you can embed it on a blog if you want, or you can print it off to take it into class, or you can use it on your board, and it's by teachers for teachers. So I think there's also that idea that when we when we submit a photo, it's because we think that there's a teaching idea behind it as well.
Right.
And not that it's suggested at all, it's just a photo. And you do with it what you want. But I think we're all kind of got something in the back of our heads about, you know, sort of, well, okay, yeah, with this photo I should do this. It's got potential.
Right.
There's always some potential.
Are there ideas along with that in a caption, or it's just the picture and we've got to use our imagination?
It's just the picture.
Right.
You can search, I think probably through Twitter or even through Google, you'd be able to find people who've been blogging about using the images. I've done one myself on using a close-up image, and there are other people as well who are sharing ideas about how to use images. And, yeah.
Can you repeat where to find that resource? So it's on Flickr.
It's on Flickr.
Flickr.
That's right.
Okay.
You go into Flickr and then you look for ELT Pics photo set.
Okay.
And I think if you Google Flickr ELT Pics, then it'll come up. It'll come up pretty, I mean, for me it comes up straight away as number one, but maybe that's because I Google it a lot.
You mentioned too that there were teachers communicating using Twitter.
Yes.
Yeah. What do they do? What kind of ideas do they share with each other?
And that's a huge question to ask because they do everything. So it depends who you are and what you're doing. There's, I only started on Twitter at IATEFL last year, in fact, and since then, for me, it's just completely changed the way that I do communicate ideas and share ideas with teachers. I'm a freelancer, so that can be quite
really
isolating
important,
sometimes. It can be quite lonely. It's you and your classroom, and being able to talk about it or find ideas from other people or share your ideas just because you want to talk to someone about what you did in your lesson. And it's very, very lively. It's very vibrant. There's, I've met teachers through Twitter from all over the world, in Russia, in Brazil, in Australia, in the whole of Europe. I mean, I love it because it opens up doors to classrooms that I could never ever enter, you know, sort of teaching worlds that are so different from mine. And for me, I find that incredibly stimulating just from a curiosity factor.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
There's a lot of input.
Yeah, so if I was to go into ELT Pics and didn't find something I wanted, I could put up a message on Twitter saying,
absolutely.
has anyone got pictures
Yes,
of
recently someone was
traditional
yes,
clothes
I'd
or-
like some fireworks, please. Has anyone got fireworks? And then I think within 10 minutes she'd got, you know, sort of I don't know how many examples of fireworks coming from all the various people who would contribute.
What could viewers do a search for on Twitter, or who should they follow?
Okay, well, if they go in, you use the hashtag system on Twitter.
And that's the little tic-tac-toe.
Yes, that's right. So the tic-tac-toe with ELT Pics, all is one word because the hashtag has to be one word.
Okay.
And then you will get everything that has been recently tweeted, and the same names will come up again and again because at the moment there are 3 curators who are working on it, Fiona in Spain, Sandy in the Czech Republic, Carol in Scotland.
Hats off to Fiona, Sandy, and Carol.
Absolutely, and to Victoria who kicked it off, along with Carol, to Vicky Loras in Switzerland as well. I mean, it's just, you know, there are a lot of people who are looking after it, and it's a great resource.
It's an amazing community of people doing
It
things
is,
like
it
that.
is.
That's what I find so lovely about what we do.
Yes,
and
so much
connecting.
sharing. It is. It's the sharing and the fun in the sharing as well, because yes, if it's kind of, I now carry a camera around with me much more than I ever did before, just to take random photos on whatever the theme happens to be this week, and it's kind of,
That's really lovely. That's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks for sharing that, and hopefully a lot of people will start
We'll start,
contributing.
even more. There's more than 2,000 photos there, but I mean, you know, it's growing.
I
It's
hope
still
it
growing.
explodes.
Yes.
Thanks, Kerry, and thanks so much for watching. We'll be back in a few minutes with Anthony Goen.